What up, world? My name is Timothy. What up, world? My name is Timothy DeJesus.
Hi everyone, Aldric here.
Hello folks, it's Kevin Kwok here.
Hi, this is Jeremey Sea. I just wanted to say this about bottoms-up perspectives. It's about real lives, real journeys, and real perspectives.
The whole idea behind bottoms-up perspective was from the word kampai, or in Asian culture, oftentimes we drink until the bottom of our cup is empty and we turn it over. So it's very much like just cheers, right? And building relationship. And that's what we're all about, is building authentic, solid relationships on a global level and being able to see things from a global perspective.
And no, we're not Alcoholics Anonymous.
We are here to be the voice of everyone.
I love the idea that we're real people and we get to share our experiences with real people just like you.
So we look forward to having you join us. What's going on, LinkedIn? And what's going on, Bottoms Up Perspective, episode 17. And we're going to talk about the follow-up. And we're super excited today to have Nico with us. So him and I have been friends for a while. I went live with him. It was on one of the first shows. How long ago was that?
Ken, I was thinking about that as I was watching that video. It's probably been a good 6 months ago. Like, we've been connected for a year, on and off talking, jumped on that live, and it's just been a great little friendship journey from there.
Awesome.
Cool.
So introduce yourself and tell us about the company you founded and also the book you've written.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny that the name is right there, Boundless Media. So I'm the co-founder of Boundless Media. We make marketing very simple. It's kind of that simple. So whether it's with digital products, social media management, strategy, we just try to make marketing simple. It doesn't need to be complex. It's just like the sale, like we're going to talk about today in the follow-up. The marketing is pretty simple. And then you see those little signs back there. I'm the author of a book called We're All Marketers. Again, same premise. Why should only marketers know how to promote themselves, their businesses, their passions? Why couldn't anyone do it? So I took this journey of trying to find the rules of marketing. That's why the 20 is there. There's 20 big things, whether it's experimenting with content, whether it's identifying your why and why that's so important. Again, we all have these tools. Using social media is one of those tools, and that's what that book's about.
That's awesome.
Can I just say, Nico? No, marketing is not easy, because once you get that out, I'll lose my job. So no, it is not easy.
Well, just to that point, I think I misspoke. It's simple. It's very simple. It's not always easy, because again, look at this awesome setup that Kevin's got going on, and that all of you have out here. So it's pretty simple, but you're right. It's definitely not
I'm just kidding.
Hashtag keep my company. Hashtag keep my jobs.
Well, the point is that I think with the advent of readily available technological platforms and tools, marketing can be simple in a way that it is decentralized. So. It can be very individual and personalized. It doesn't have to be something that comes with a corporate access. I think that should be the way we think about marketing today. That's why there's an explosion of topic on digital marketing, content marketing, personal branding, and things like that. Because we can all do it. There's no barriers these days.
So let me correct. It's simple, but it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's agree on that.
Yep, I agree. Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
Good. Can you hear us okay, Tim?
I hear you all now. I had to jump out.
All right.
Jump back in like 3 times.
Awesome. Well, I want to say hi to all our audience out there. Hey, hi, Chris. Cheers. And let's start with our first question, right? When we talk about follow-up, we all have to do.
My name is Timothy.
We all have to do it, even when we don't like it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, why is the follow-up so important?
Ooh. I think all these salespeople are thinking like, oh, I know the answer. So I'll step back and see Jeremy. Jeremy's thinking about this. So yeah.
So I mentioned in my post prior to this live, right? It's important because to me, I don't. Okay, so I'm in the marketing role, right? So I get cold calls on, hey, do you want to participate and sponsor us for this event, that exhibition, etc., etc. And sometimes I do take a listen, and I hear that, yeah, what's it about? I just give the person the privilege of the time and since they took the effort to call me, and then they do the pitch, and then I'll be like, okay, why don't you send me, something, some more details of this event or this exhibition? I'll take a look at it, and usually, probably, I don't take a look at it, right? And then that's where the follow-up becomes important, because usually, if you're a good salesperson, right, you will say that, okay, so I'll send this to you after this call. So what would be a good time to call you again to check on, if you're interested, So they'll usually try and nail me for a time and a date, and I'll be like, oh, okay, maybe next week this time you try me, blah, 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 if I'm busy, So when they do follow up, then I really, really will have to take a look, just out of decency as a human, right? I'll take a look at it, and before the call, or when they call me, oh yeah, you called me before, yes, that's right. Sorry, let me take a look right now. Then the conversation continues, and thereafter, it's about whether it's yes or no, usually, right? But the important thing is, if the first thing they didn't ask me for a date to follow up with me, it's gone, right? It's gone. And secondly, if they really do remember to call me back, which is something as basic as that, I as a decent person would at least, I'm sorry, I didn't take a look. Let me take a look at it now, right? So I think there's this kind of at least to me, right? When they try and pitch to me and they follow up with me, I do give that respect back for their time and take the time to look at it. But if they don't follow up, that's it, it's gone, right? So to me, really, that's where it's important. If I'm trying to be your buyer, or you're trying to get me to buy something from you. To me, that's my angle as a potential client. Why a follow up is important. Simple as that.
That's good.
Yeah.
My take on follow up is here's a little bit different way to view it, but I can't tell you how many times somebody has invited me to a Zoom call to try to pitch me something, and they forgot to confirm the appointment, and then I end up getting on and they don't show up. Now, if you want to lose somebody forever, do something like really, and that happens. I can't tell you how many times it's happened on LinkedIn. And I'm honestly just like you said, Jeremy. Like, I'm being nice. I really have no interest, but I'm like, all right, sure, I'll jump on a call with you. And then they don't even show up. It's like, all right, well, that's the essence of, if you want to lose somebody forever as a customer, don't follow up and don't show up, and see how that works. So I think that's where follow up is super important, because if you can't even find the time in your day to make sure you show up for an appointment you set for a client, why would I ever do business with you?
Absolutely.
Ever. So I think that's where follow up is super important in and of itself.
I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in here really quickly, and just to piggyback off of this. I think for me, especially as I sell digital services, but also I'm the main sales guy for my company. One thing that we've been starting to implement quite a bit is LinkedIn gives you 100 free credits every month to add people to your company pages. So for the brands we work with and whatnot, one thing I've been doing for my follow-up is, before I sent them an email, I sent them a LinkedIn connection request from the page, because there's 2 things for them. One, they see some of the page's content more. So you're following up without following up, in a sense. And 2, it makes that conversation warmer. And to Timothy's point on this is, I think as a decent human, like, at least just show up. And I've literally been canceled on before, and you just have this bad taste. So even if like they move to a different company or anything, they reach out again, you have this negative taste in your mouth, where it's like after that really like last sip of alcohol. I know we were talking about that earlier in the video. It's like a little bit back. So I'm with you on that. So that's my tip and kind of my feedback on that as well.
That's good.
I think for me, the follow-up, especially for those that I work with, and even in the line of my work, the fact that we have to engage on follow-up is actually a very tedious process, right? And sometimes mindset over skill set, I think, is a very important thing to have, because Because if you are always in the position of chasing, then you need to anchor yourself in such a way that this is worth it. This is worth it. This is worth it. I got to follow up. I got to follow up. I got to follow up because during that process, the fact that you have to follow up and the client didn't say no, it just means that they are sitting on the fence. Could be potentially with a lot of goodwill, right? So the thing that keeps us going is when you have that idea, you don't know when they're going to turn around and the light bulb moment hits there and say, yeah, sure, I need this, right? So if you don't, you keep chasing, and then you get off the race. Your prospect turns around to say that, hey, I really need this. You're not around, and they go to your competitor. So you basically just did the work for them. That's how I think about the follow-up. So as much as I would, and as much as I would encourage my mentees, I'll tell them, try to be a lot more efficient in the process before that so that you can minimize your follow-up chasing. If it's about chasing, it's usually very difficult. If follow-up emails, we all know what we do to the follow-up emails, right? We only read when we want to read them. If we don't want to read them, we know where to categorize them, or we write some Outlook rules and off goes to somewhere, right? That's what I think. Of course, I think there are some industries where follow-ups are natural, and we don't think too much about that. Your medical appointments, they don't actively follow up on you, isn't it? When are you available? Book on a calendar, and then that's it. You go on your own. So if you are a teacher, right, you have to keep chasing your students for submitting homework. It's follow-up, isn't it? Hey boys, you have not submitted your homework for past 2 weeks. You're late. Please do it now, right? So follow-up to me, in a way, it's tedious, but it's not just for marketing and sales professionals. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's just that some professions, I think for some reason they had it a little easier, but I think for founders and for entrepreneurs and even for most of us who's doing our own thing, we got to dedicate, I guess, an hour or so really just to look at our list and say, okay, where are they? And let's get a call, or can I do a piece of content and reach out to him, or can I do a DM? It's effort for sure. It's effort.
I think when it comes to the follow-up, so my thought, right, I think it's the foundation of relationships. If you think about it, any relationship, right? If you want to meet someone and become friends with them, you have to put effort into following up with them to build friendship. Because at first, we all start at acquaintances, right? If you don't make the effort or the other person, it never becomes the friendship, right? And same thing when it comes to courting a girl or a man, right? You don't go meet someone. Very few times is love at first sight, right? It takes multiple engagements, follow-ups, in order for them to have an interest in you, And it goes the same. How do you expect someone to want to do business with you? Boom, just like that. Most people it's never love at first sight, especially when you want my money. All right? It's even harder, okay? So I want to get to know you. And that's where I think the whole idea of content is important, because people, in a way, are engaging with you prior to ever meeting you, right? They like some of you guys, right? I met you guys through LinkedIn. And I've been, following your content for probably 6-7 months before I engage and actually reach out, right? So I'm the creeper.
Stalker.
But I think that's how it all works. And that's why I think we can't take follow-up lightly, because that's the start of every relationship, right? But I'm also a firm believer in what Aldric just said about chasing. I think there's a difference between chasing and then there's a follow-up, right? I never recommend anyone to chase, right? And it goes back to, if you have to force someone to be your friend or your girlfriend or boyfriend, it's not a good relationship, people. It shouldn't take that much. You get the hint. If I'm a guy and I keep calling a girl, and probably the 10th time she has no interest in talking to me, I should get the hint, Kevin, she probably doesn't like you that way. So stop calling her, And I think in business, it's the exact same thing. We have to, look at it that way. And I think sometimes people don't get the cue that people are not interested in you.
No, I think that's a very interesting example, but we can always go a little one layer deeper, right? Like if you're trying to go out with a girl and your offer on the table, commercializing it. If you put the offer on the table and say, shall we catch a movie? And then she's not interested, and you keep chasing, right? Shall we follow up, right? Shall we go watch this movie? Shall we go watch this movie? Shall we go watch this movie? You already know what's the outcome, right? It's not about the follow-up, it's about the offer. She's not interested in that offer. She might want to go for candlelight dinner, right? So we should not waste our follow-up efforts on things that the moment we know that they are not that interested, we should start thinking about how things really are. That's what I think.
Yep. Just at that point, I think if we're going to go with this dating analogy, we're going to go all the way in. Again, it's think about that, right? Think about that. We had that great interaction the first time. You gotta not be as needy. Gotta wait a little bit. Can't text him right after that. It's like, hey, listen, like we gotta, unless there are complete sparks, right? Unless there are complete sparks and you're in love, you gotta give that person a little bit of time, because as much as I hated working with any of the clients I have, there is a little bit of who needs me more, because number one, that's gonna help me in the negotiating table, and number two, if I move a little bit too early, and same with too late, I'm going to lose them. So I'm trying to find that sweet spot. And so we're going to go with that dating analogy. I feel like we're just going to go that one. So
no, I totally get it, man. I mean, I think realistically, when it comes to follow-up, you kind of have to prioritize the follow-up. I think that's super important, is who really, you said it, like, who is the most needing of my time? Where am I going to get the most bang for my buck when I spend this time following up? Because the reality is, if you just bang your head against the wall with people who are not interested for an hour of your day, that's just unproductive time. You're better off spending that time prospecting. Reality. So you have to also look at, okay, who actually do I have a chance of closing if I'm going to follow up? And if there's zero shot, then okay, rather than following up, you can put them on an email list and they can come to you when the time is right. But in the meantime, you go and actually spend your time making a call to somebody who is actually going to turn around and do business with you. That's the way I've always handled follow-up.
What about in the retail business, Jeremy?
No, I just wanted to take this spin a little bit off from the sales pitch, off from the dating and courtship thing, because I'm too old for that. Sorry, I wish I had this call we did this like 20 years ago when I was still in the game. Out of the market. Sorry.
Wife, Jeremy?
Sorry.
You don't follow up with your wife?
I'm not gonna answer that.
No, obviously.
Jen still makes me follow up.
Yeah, obviously you're married, you have a wife, but I'm sure you don't have a girlfriend, so maybe you can try to occupy that.
No time. But okay, back to this, right? So if we strip away the sales part and this courtship thing, just daily work, because I'm like probably not the entrepreneur here, right? Just a daily working guy. So I think follow-up is important because like I wrote in my post, it's important because especially if you follow up proactively, right? Before people ask you for it, especially your boss, right? Always, number one rule, always follow up on what your boss does or asks before they ask for it again. So that's very simple, right? You can understand that. But always proactively follow up, because it shows that you're on top of things. It shows that you're in control. It shows that you know the time frame and it is important to you. It shows that you are invested in what you're doing. So I mean, I didn't really actually think about it until I had to write something about this before the live. But I really do feel that a lot of my time as work as a corporate guy really is follow up on things, like it or not. It may just be a replying an email. It's still a follow up. Just telling people what's going on, or even setting a meeting for the next call because the project needs more discussion. We need to meet the deadline. All these are follow up, and it's just important like that, because in a certain way, like what Kevin you said, not really just, not only does it means building a relationship, and in a corporate world, it really is your reputation. It really is your reputation, because if things start hitting you and you don't follow up, what does that mean? Are you doing anything? You're not doing anything, right? You're not doing a job, and especially if your boss, right, looks for you, then that's not good. You don't want to be in that situation. So really, if I distill it down to my day-to-day, all I'm doing, it's a lot of following up, because there's only that number of projects a year that I'm initiating. Even if I'm initiating a project and I task it out down to, A, B, and C people to do task A, B, and C, I still need to do that follow-up, because if there's no follow-up, nothing works. Nobody is being kept honest to deadlines, and everything will just fall apart. So I think that's why it's important, if it's a non-salesy kind of thing, because day-to-day is really about following up, and a lot hinges on your reputation, especially when you can follow up proactively and you are on point on what the status is, especially when you have a lot of things going at the same time. It's even more important, so that things don't fall apart. Right? So that's just from a corporate standpoint.
That's so true, because in today's society, we're so busy, right? There's just so much noise. There's so much going on. And I think it's important to just at least do some follow-ups to remind people, right? I call it top of mind awareness, right? Every day you're doing follow-up when you're on social media. We don't think about that, but when you're posting, you're doing follow-up. Because you're nurturing the audience that's following you on your social channels. And if you're on LinkedIn, you're following up. Every piece of content you're putting on there is technically a follow-up. It's reminding people, Kevin Kwok's still here. I'm still doing marketing. Come say hi. Sell me something.
Yeah, and every
that's
time
true.
you
That's
reply
true.
to a comment is a follow-up too, if you really think about it.
Yep.
So, which we all do a lot of on this platform. So, we do a lot of follow-up if you really think about it.
So my next question is, we all have a lot of different experiences, everything from sales to just being the corporate guy, consulting and marketing, right? So what are some tips that you can give to the viewers in regards to better ways to follow up? What maybe tools that you use, things that help you, like, I know you guys were saying prioritize, right? Your lowest hanging fruit. How do you guys do it? You guys are all very busy. So, yeah.
CRM, you set tasks. So if you have somebody you really want to follow up with, you should set a task within a CRM. Or, my phone, I can't use it because I'm talking on it. But my phone, I set reminders on my calendar all day long. That's my method of following up. And if I don't do that and use my notes app, I'm lost. I will forget 90% of the shit that comes between my ears. And it's not intentional. It's just on a day-to-day basis, so many things go between my brain space that I'll forget half of it.
Absolutely.
So, it's just a matter of, using a notes app, using your calendar, if you have a CRM, setting up tasks, saying, hey, call this person at this time. This person told me to call them at 3:00. So you set either a calendar reminder or a task in your CRM to say, call this person at 3:00. And if you do those things, in addition to, we talk about prioritizing, marking who's a hot lead and who's not. That's also important too. If you have a hot lead, you want to set that person apart versus somebody who is, just, hey, you had a casual conversation with. The person you had a casual conversation with who's not at the bottom of the funnel getting ready to purchase, you don't need to follow up with them every day religiously. You're going to just annoy them. But, if you follow up that hot lead and they're like, yeah, I'm just waiting on, I got to speak to my wife, or whatever the reason was for them waiting, and you can capture them the next day and say, hey, did you have a chance to speak to so-and-so? Yes, I did. I'm ready to move forward. Fantastic. That's a hot lead. So those are my takes on better ways to follow up.
If I'm gonna jump in here really quickly. There's 2 tips that I would recommend. Right, one is time bucketing. It's something that saved me so many hours. If I'm doing the same task over and over again, to Timothy's point, I have In my schedule, I have 3 times during the day or 3 times during the week where I do batching on comments for my content, email responses for people I want to reach out to, for connection requests for people who just connected with me. I want them to know who I am. So I batch all that throughout my week. And though I'm not as good as I used to be, where I would do it with each and every one that coming in, as a sales guy, as a business owner, as a person in 2020, your time's everything. So that's a super simple tip for me. And the second one is template. If you can template out anything, so my connection requests, I have a format where I customize each connection message, but it follows more or less the same process. I want to take as much away from here. A good salesperson, in my opinion, someone who knows their product, knows the script, and can quickly get through people who aren't perfect with people who are, and then invest in those. So if you can make a template for your emails, for your connection requests, for anything, spend the hour to do so, and then you're on your way.
That's a good one.
You want to go first, Jeremy?
Yeah, sure. I think what used to work for me, even since I was a young boy, paper and pencil. Just take a A4 piece of paper, fold it, 8 ways, right? And it becomes, really flat. You can pocket it, So I did that when I was in school, right? I need to hand up, whatever homework, whatever deadlines, what I need to do. I need to bring money, whatever. I'll write it down, really tiny notes, square pieces of paper, so I can put it in my pocket. Now it's in my pants pocket. So every day, end of the day, I pull it out. I write notes as I go along, and then I see, I haven't done this yet. I haven't done that yet. So that was like, real long time ago. So now, with the mobile phone, and it used to be like PDA, right? Just scribble on PDAs. Now with the mobile phone, it's so much easier. And I find that using the calendar app and setting alarms is a perfect way to do it, because it's really hard, like what you said, Nico, get a lot of things out of here because you just can't pack so much, especially when you're older. It's really hard to remember. So set alarms on the phone so that it goes off and, I need to do something. What's this alarm for? And hopefully you punched it right to remind yourself what it is about. So either calendar or anything that's smaller on the time frame within 24 hours, put it on an alarm. If it's something that you need to go beyond like a week or so, I'll put it on the calendar and do a alarm for the calendar or a reminder so that your phone pops up. So that's how I do it. And I think in terms of prioritization, I think I mentioned earlier, get to your boss first. In emails, whatever, just make sure that you answer what your boss asks. Follow up on those. I think on the second priority really will be things you're in charge of, projects that you're leading, things you need to get people to do. Follow up on those, because if you're not dishing out those tasks and making sure that everyone keeps to the deadline, you're going to be dead. Nobody's going to be on deadline. And I guess really the last kind of a prioritization would be people asking for help or things that you think that maybe is not within your job scope and I don't want to answer that right now. I got more important things to do. Those will be on least priority, definitely. If there's a fourth category, then it really be like external requests. Like I want to sell you this, I want to sell you that. So those would really be, okay, if you look for me again, maybe I'll pay attention, like I mentioned earlier in my first comment. Otherwise, I'm just going to, click it as read and forget about it until somebody comes and bug me or call me again or follow up with me. So that's kind of like, prioritize and hopefully get on point. I think I've survived so far. It probably worked for me for now.
Okay, I'll go. I think when it comes to the things that I do, I'll leave the social media part aside first because that's going to be very close to what Nico just mentioned. But in terms of the businesses that I do or even the coaching practice or workshops that I run, the people that I meet, I try not to get into the follow-up part of the process. I want to avoid that because in that process, it is against me. The amount of effort that I have to punch out just to get that little bit of response and attention, it's not viable. So as much as I can, when I can meet you face to face, an appointment 60 minutes, at the start of the appointment, I am already following up with you. That's what I want to do. I want to get an objective for this meeting It could be a contract, it could be a high ticket item, it could be a low ticket item, and at the same time, I would also be following up with your interest, which means that this is the core offer, what we're talking about, and I can start telling you that there's something beneath that could be helpful to you as well. And I want to use our face-to-face time, which is the prime real estate, to do the follow-up. And I want to see if I can close by the end of the appointment, and if not, my follow-up would be, can we align our calendars? When can we meet again? So that would be my follow-up. Because when face-to-face, it's a lot more effective. The passive tools, they are high effort, low result, in my opinion. I mean, like, I can write content emailers, like the daily content emailers that people push out from their websites, which are brilliant copies. They convert, they follow up too. But I think the effective rates of following up and closing is way lower than a face-to-face, because everything is dynamic, right? You ask, I answer, you ask, I answer, I ask, you answer, right? I know your pain point, I know what I can do for you. I think that's the most effective thing. So I'll try not to get into the follow-up in the businesses that I do, or in the coaching or workshops that I run. Now, to Nico's point on time boxing, right? I do that for my social media, LinkedIn, Quora, and Twitter, because followers can be potential subscribers or prospects or clients, right? So while the day is very busy and it's very crazy, I'll typically devote about 1 hour a day, craft posts, reply comments on previous posts, and answering questions. So to keep my presence and to do my follow-ups. I think when it comes to social media, it doesn't have to be immediate, which is a good thing. Even websites clarifications, right? You can do it at the end of the day, you can do it at the end of the next day. Depending on the kind of platforms, I don't think people are on every single platform every single day just to check when you respond. So that gives a lot of breathing space. So I do those.
Excellent. Kevin, can't hear you.
Very similar to Nico and Aldric. I do the same thing. I can't box out time when I actually do my follow-up, but I do utilize a lot of tools. I think tools are important. I utilize Trello, Slack, and there's a lot of tools that are free out there. If you're just starting out, that doesn't cost a lot. I think is it HubSpot even has a free CRM tool. Of course, if you want to beef it up, it'll cost you, a monthly fee. But they are available to the audience out here, and they're not paying me to say that. But there are a lot of free tools, right? But I think that's one of the key things. Everyone has, I'm a multitasker, so I'm one of those guys that can do a lot of things and remember everything, right? And so it really depends on you, your abilities, right? I also write a lot of things down throughout the day. I am old-fashioned. I like a piece of paper and a pen. I have sticky notes, and so I think it really depends on you. But there are so much tools today, and I highly recommend, if you're early on in your sales career or business career, take advantage of it. Start off on the right foot, right? Use these tools because they're available. Because once again, things slow ball. If you get into bad habits, it's going to affect you later on. And a lot of guys think, when I build my business more, when I make more money, then I'll look into a CRM, or different things. Hey, management tool, whatever. But if there's a tool, a shoe that can make you run faster and get you there quicker, why not use it?
Especially if it's free.
Yeah, you don't wait till, let me build some muscle first or get all my training in before I buy the good shoes. You buy the good shoes first, then start running. Aldric probably knows he's a runner. I'm not. But I think that's so important. It's just there are tools out there to help you with your follow-up efforts and even social media, right? So I want to hear from you guys since we are on LinkedIn. and I'm sure a lot of you guys get a lot of stuff in your inbox. What's your trick? And okay, let's put it this way. How do you distinguish who you want to respond to? And how do you organize your inbox so that you can get to inbox 0?
Wow.
Wow, I've given up on that long time ago.
The answer is I don't.
I think all of us are probably here like, I mean, goodness.
No, I mean, listen, it's very much top of mind. Like, what happens is if you're at the top of my inbox, or if it's like, we have a bottoms up group, and that's obviously priority. So with the limited amount of time I have in my day, that's where it gets spent. And a lot of the other stuff, and I apologize if I haven't answered you yet, it's just the time isn't there sometimes. And I'll tell you, any and everybody who's watching, like, it's just not there sometimes. And I would love to have the time to respond to, when I see the number 55 or 88 or something crazy in my inbox, I would love to have the time when I log in 3 times a day when I see that number to answer all that, but it's not there. Not when you work a full-time job and, everything else that we do. Post content, reply to comments. So the answer is I don't, personally. And it's not because I don't want to respond to everybody's comments. The time just isn't there. If I had the time, believe me, I would absolutely love to speak to everybody who reaches out to me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think just it's funny. We're as humans, it's so funny because we've got this nice little schedule already going. Who's speaking? So I was like, "Am I next?" But I even have it right now.
I told you we are a mess.
No, it's not.
We are a mess.
To be honest, there was a warning that this would be a crazy live, and it is. There's a lot of flow here, so that's what happens when you talk to great people. People is what matters. But I think for me, it's honestly, I used to beat myself up all the time when I had 55, when I had 85, when I had 100 messages. And at a certain point, I just looked at it and said, again, because all these content creators, everyone here, they're on Quora, they're on Twitter, they're all over the place. Do you know, it is hard to respond to everyone. So for me, it's just accepting the fact that I'm probably not going to respond, but not beating myself up. And I can kind of feel that Timothy is the same way with this. Is I can't get to everyone. Like, as we're talking follow-up. If we had 100% of people we talk to follow up with us, number one, we need to make more money because we are selling something that's crazy hot. But the truth is, like, we just don't. So I just don't. I think the tip is just a mental shift, saying that, listen, I'm going to get to them. It might take me months. It might take me. I literally responded to someone from a year ago, and again, it was kind of awkward. I said, "Hey, it's been a year," but it's because those happy birthday things come up. So I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna wish them a happy birthday." And it's like, "Oh, I haven't responded to them in a year," but better late than never. So just don't beat yourself up. Like, realize that they know you're a human, and if you're posting continuously on LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever platform, they feel really passionate about it, they will reach out to you. So just don't beat yourself up.
That's good.
Yeah. I think
Audrey,
go first.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I think I just have the least problem amongst you guys because it's a known fact I have not that many followers, and I won't say I do that intentionally, but if somebody reaches out to me, I would sort of prioritize, if that person is sort of retail related, there's something common we can talk about, which is retail, right? So or if somebody reaches out to me on a more personal level and says that, hey, I see that you are in retail, blah, blah, blah. I want to know more about, what your views are, that kind of a thing. Definitely, I would respond more. But if it is like just a connection, I don't have that problem you guys face now. I don't have that many followers. So it's pretty much manageable for me. But it's just that, the full-time job gets in the way and other priorities. So I don't have as much as a problem. And if we're talking about replying posts and all, I don't post as crazy much as like Aldric does. So I still pace myself a little bit. And sometimes if you're not in the mood
see
to
me on Quora.
So sometimes you don't if you're not in the mood to respond, or just take a break and then do it the next day, right? So I don't have anything that's like, a year, maybe 1 or 2 days, because it's still manageable for me because I don't have that huge numbers like you guys do. But if I reach the point where you guys are, I'll let you know how I'll handle it. But not now. No, I'm good.
I think for me the way I think about it is if we use LinkedIn as a platform, right? You look at the way how certain communication comes to you, much more obvious compared to the rest. If someone commented on your post vis-a-vis someone sending you a DM, I'm very certain for all of us, we are more likely to respond to the comment on the post. I mean, a reply to the comment on the post rather than checking what happened in our DMs, right? I'm very certain because this is the proximity of the conversation. You did a post. You are literally trying to talk to everyone on the platform, and people are responding. So in a conversation, I will reply, right? I will reply you. But if it's a DM, even though it's a conversation, it's like, hi, good morning, and blah, blah. If it starts off like that, it's like, okay, let me take care of my first degree connection who responded to me on my post first. I think it's the way in which we look at, we evaluate how things are of a higher priority, but sometimes it's not that obvious. It's just, oh, that's my post. People are engaging with me on my post. Let me get back. Let me get back first, right? And then the DMs are, oh yeah, okay. So then inevitably, for me, I'll have a lot more numbers on the messages kind of icon rather than in terms of like the number of responses whatsoever on the platform. It's the same for me on Quora. It's the same for me on Twitter. I think that's how I think about it. When it comes to email, I have at the back of my head or even on my journal, the people and certain things that I have to do, right? So when their name comes up, I will check the email. So I don't go the top ones first. It's not possible these days. It's like, I think I get north of 200, 300 plus emails a day. It's like, of course, most of them are like spam or special spam. So it's like when Kevin sends the StreamYard email for Bottoms Up Perspective episode 17 or 16 or 15, that email sits in that email sits in my inbox until the morning where we are going to get into the live show. I don't check
the same,
it. Yeah, I don't check it. Don't bluff, Jeremy. You don't even know that it's
the same.
You always ask for tech support.
That's my point. I don't check it.
Come on, you guys are the worst. Yes, the link.
Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah, I don't always check, but I know when to check.
So that means I have to do a follow-up.
That's good.
Always, right, Kevin? Sorry, we're like your children, right? You have to father us, parent us. And Aldric's like the mother, right? The mother hen. Oh, wake up!
Mother. That's great.
I mean, I think you're spot on, Aldric. I think reality is, right, if you really want to get our attention, you're right, comment on a post. Because, and here's something else I'll say. A DM, if you want to grab my attention, it better, like, grab my attention in the box where I can read it. Like, you know how when you read all your DMs, you don't actually open them up? So whatever you're saying has to catch my attention in that whatever, like, maybe 5
window.
Words. Yeah, like, that's kind of it. You got like one shot. If you're like, hi, how are you? I'm like, I'm great, but I'm sure you are too, but it's not gonna happen. So you have to grab, if you're gonna DM somebody, you really have to grab their attention in the first 5 or 7 words or whatever it is. Even if you're like, this is an urgent message or something, you'll grab my attention. If you waste my time, I might be pissed off, but at least you grab my attention. So
clickbait.
That's just the rule about DMs, I would tell everybody.
But you're pissed off most of the time. So how do we get your attention? Teach us.
I do a rant like once every 2 weeks. It's not bad, you know. It's not bad.
I also think too, if you're trying to follow up and you're doing sales or whatever, do your homework. You know, look at my profile and look at what I do. You know,
gosh.
I mean, I have so many digital marketers reach out to me, and I'm like, yeah, I do what you guys do. You know, and it's like, this is kind of annoying. You know, or and also I think be creative. You know, I think a lot of people aren't very creative when they ask for business or ask to even get to know you, right? Like I love doing my voice recording because I know there's so much bots out there, there's so much automation out there, and everyone's just tired of, you know, the F name, you know, and then it's like the wrong name, right? They call me Mike or, you know, and it's like, huh? You know, I get some that says Carrie, and I'm like, dude, I'm a dude, you know, wrong guy, you know. So I like leaving like on LinkedIn, if you're on your mobile phone, here's a little nugget. You can actually do a voice message. Yeah. And I love that because I feel it's very personal. It catches people off guard and go, oh, it's actually really Kevin, you know. And I just talk to them. Even there's Noom. You can leave little, you know, it's a little video app. You can create a video. So I think there's a lot of ways to do follow-up if it's someone you want to contact and you want to take that extra effort to just stand out in the inbox, right? But I'm the same way. I am horrible at keeping up with my inbox. And I don't know if you guys use do you guys use Sales Navigator as well?
I know Sales Navigator, but I'm not in sales, but it's really just for, you know, stalking on people. So
yeah, and it's so confusing because you have now your inbox, and then there's the Sales Navigator inbox, and those are the ones I always forget about. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's all these salespeople that just reach out to me, like 200 that I haven't even follow up with, right? And then the important stuff is hidden and all the unimportant stuff, right? So now I have like thousands of inbox messages that I don't look at. So if you're a salesperson out there, sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. Haven't responded because I haven't looked at it, you know? But it's so true. I think you got to be creative to get on top of people's inbox nowadays. And I love what Aldric said, you know, creating content is so important because I think we all agree that more people look at your content versus your DM, right?
The only last thing I'm going to throw in here, just because like this is super timely. Right now, I'm in the process of writing my next book called We're All Influencers, right? So I'm trying to get into the direct messages and frankly the viewpoint of people with millions and millions of followers who get thousands and thousands of direct messages. Here's the thing: just because they have a lot of followers, and this is perfect for clients as well, not just in my shoes, but a client might have 15,000 connections on LinkedIn, but they may have 50 followers on Twitter. So in your world of follow-up, don't be afraid to kind of go and break from the platform because you're still the same person. Like for me, super easy. I connected with someone with 15, what was it? It was 5 million followers on TikTok, but they have 490 on LinkedIn.
That's good.
That's a response, right? So don't be afraid to kind of like take the conversation, whether it's from, you know, email to social. Like that's what it's just a little tip that I think a lot of people don't do. So,
that's freaking awesome. I agree because you'll catch my attention a lot more on say an Instagram or a Twitter because I'm just not on there. If I have a DM, I'm like, who the hell DM me? So you know, I'll have a lot more bandwidth to respond on a platform like that than I will on LinkedIn, where it's exactly what you said. You got 10K plus followers. Every time you sign in, you have 55. You're going to tune out some DMs. It just is what it is. So
and
I think that's an excellent one, Nico.
I love Chris's comment, you know, because he's a practitioner of what he preached. Because today he caught me off guard, and he called me, and I picked up the phone, and I talked to Chris. And he's and he's on my show now, you know? So awesome follow up. So kudos, Chris, you know? I totally agree. I think the art of picking up the phone and calling is slowly dying because everyone's on this social media bandwagon, right? And this is coming from a digital marketer. I still feel sometimes you catch people off guard by picking up the phone and calling. And a lot of people are starting to not be comfortable at picking up the phone and talking. So it really sets you apart in a way. And if you are trying to hit C levels that are 40 and up, they miss the phone call.
Yeah.
Because it's not happening nowadays. And if you're a young person and you pick up the phone and call them, they'll go, dude, good job. I haven't had a phone call forever. You know, I tell my sales guys that, you know, that are younger, pick up the phone, watch. And I can't believe how many times, oh, Kevin, he actually complimented me because he haven't got a phone call for, you know, the last 4 years, you know, and they end up talking to him and we end up with a sale, you know, and it's important, you know, I think it's a mix, right? Is where can you win attention is so important, right?
Yep.
So
go ahead.
So just to add on the phone call thing, I always tell people, right, the email does not make the phone call obsolete. And phone calls are more intrusive, right? But I think it's quite effective because you break through the clutter and you get that connection. And really, if the person picks up, they really can't avoid unless they hit the no, sorry, I'm not interested, and they just hang up. But that's just a rude person, and it's not worth connecting anyway. So, and the other point I want to make is that you know, we are all doing text messages, texting, you know, on WhatsApp or whatever, LinkedIn text. But you know, this is happening in my organization whereby we're in this now digital age. I mean, even pre-pandemic, we had this sales training, and they were like going with advocating that you should do video messages, not text messages, personalized ones, you know, whereby you write the client's name on a piece of paper and you record yourself, say, hey, hi Kevin, with that piece of paper with Kevin's name, and say, hey, I just wanted to follow up with you on blah, 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 on video. So imagine instead of getting a text, you get a video as a follow-up. I think that's pretty cool because that's the next best thing from coming to you face-to-face with all this social distancing. I think that's going to be quite unique. So consider that, right? Video calls, video messages, follow-ups. I don't see a lot of people doing it, but it could differentiate you. Yeah.
And I think, you know, another golden nugget here is there's tricks to even cold calling, right? That I've learned in my days of selling and different things. You can use these tools, combine it, you know. If you find someone on LinkedIn, you can get past the gatekeeper by going, hello, can I speak to Mike? You know, like with a lot of confidence and just feel real. You can get right through the gatekeeper. You know, I usually like if I have a prospect that I really want to hit up, I research them. I watch their content. I stalk them. You know,
sales navigator.
And then I look at today's show. I get to know them a little bit, you know, and then I kind of know their name already. And by the time I've already built relationship with their content, I pick up the phone and go, hey, can I have Mike, you know, the engineer, you know, and usually I get enough information. I know pretty much a lot about that person. So I can get right through past the gatekeeper because I already know, oh, can I get Mike? You know, I know I want to talk to him about golfing because I know he likes golfing. You know, because they post it. The information's out there. If people are posting authentic content, you can get to know a lot about a person. Example, if I was cold calling my wife, Jennifer, I just mentioned Starbucks. Because she talks about coffee all the time. You know, hey, can I get a hold of Jennifer? Hey, just happens, I got this Starbucks voucher, and I want to reach out to Jennifer. And most likely, you'll get Jennifer at J29. You know, I'm just being honest, you know. So, I mean, those are little tricks that you can do, and it's not really stalking. It's really doing your homework as a professional, you know. The worst you can do is just cold reach someone, and you don't even say know their name or what they do, and just random.
Kevin, absolutely. They can't even say the name right, or
Yep. Because I see so many people just blast people, right? And it's like someone was like talking to me about Airbnb or something, and then I was like, "Do you look at my profile? I don't do anything with real estate Airbnb investment." And then it was so obvious it was like this automated thing because it keeps coming and it keeps hitting me like 3-4 times, and I was like, "Stop it!" So it leads to my next question, and this is the final one, right? When do you stop in your follow-up process? When do you feel it starts getting? Well, one is, when do you personally stop if you're following up with someone? And also share with me, when does it get annoying to you?
Annoying to us is like to follow up with someone?
No, it's someone else doing it to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yep. And then also share with me. Also share with me, like, when do you stop following up with a potential?
Yeah. So I'll jump in. I mean, I'll say personally, I don't stop following up until I have a decision, either yes or no from them. But the level of follow-up will be tailored to the prospect. So again, we talked about in the beginning, right? If it's a hot prospect, I'll follow up more frequently. If it's somebody who is interested, but not now or not anytime in the near future, I'll follow up to keep my name out there. But outside of that, I'm not gonna, beat down the door every day, because that's asking. So, the level of follow-up depends on the priority of the client. That being said, when does it become annoying for me? Usually it becomes annoying immediately.
I think you're one of the very few who will be annoyed before the customer gets annoyed.
But at the same time, like, I'll be, if you do it tactfully, I'll be respectful. But I try to let people know, like, I'm not interested fairly early on, so they don't have to keep reaching out. But if you do a good job with it, like, and I'm somewhat interested, I'll be tactful. If you do a shitty job of follow-up, I'm gonna blow you up. So it's really about who the person is who's doing a follow-up. You guys have all been in a situation. Somebody who does a really good job of following up, you'll continue to engage with them. But if they do a poor job, you're like, all right, get away. I'm done.
So Tim, if I was selling you something and I've been following your content, I want to hear your feedback. And I'm selling you a software solution. I would actually send you a little miniature bear with a note and say "secret admirer" and my email. Would you respond?
I would probably respond. I might be a little creeped out because you're a dude. I
think what's probable is that he might get Isabel to respond to you and say, "Thank you for the teddy bear."
Thank you for the bear. Bye bye.
So Isabel will close the deal on Timothy's behalf, which is more likely.
So for those of you who don't know, Tim has a teddy bear. He's famous for his bear video.
Not my bear, my daughter's bear.
His daughter's bear.
That's awesome. I will say, for me, it becomes annoying at a certain point when I get ghosted, right? Like, I have no problem following up with someone who doesn't buy today, but at least they're telling me, like, listen, I don't want, this might not be the perfect fit right now, follow up in a couple months, but if I get ghosted, that's the only time I turn into Timothy over here, where I'm like, really? You're blowing me off? It's back to the dating thing from earlier, like, you blew me off? So I totally stole this from the UK's most hated salesperson. If you guys haven't followed his content, great guy. But I just say I'm closing the file. Like, at a certain point, like, if I get ghosted for too long, I'll just send listen, this isn't going to work out between us. Maybe it's product market fit. Maybe it's just not for you. I'm going to close the file. Thank you so much. That's usually like the extreme. And to his credit, like people respond. Like I get phone calls and I'm like, "Hey, listen, sorry, we've been busy. I want to further this discussion." And if they don't respond to that, then I'm good. But no, I'm with you, Timothy. I think it becomes tedious if it takes a lot. Like if they're kind of dragging it on and like, oh, we're gonna do it, and they don't. Or even if I'm doing it, I want that person to cut me off because, listen, I'm indecisive. That means no.
That classic, let me think about it, isn't it? Just let me think about, and they will go into their Zen mode, and they will start disappearing from Mother Earth, and they'll be in the galaxy. And like, what the hell? That classic. It's like, for me, I would try to ascertain after 1 and 2 and 3 whether they are still interested in the same thing. But I think the thing is to be flexible in the kind of offers that we have, that we are not a one-trick pony or one product or one service kind of service provider. So we have a lot that we can play around, right? So if the initial offer is something that they're probably not very interested in, maybe we try something else. Right? So I would like to think that if I have to get onto a follow-up process, which of course I mentioned in the show, I'm not a fan, then I would try to ascertain when should I pivot to another offer or another problem that I can solve on your behalf, which you are more likely to give me that attention. That's what I'm going to do. So I have no qualms abandoning the very initial topic on the follow-up, so just to understand what you're interested in. I think we need to be flexible on that. Do I totally abandon an account or customer? I think I'll try whatever I can, right? And sometimes extreme kind of attention grabbing techniques, like I'll just call, hey, it's been a while. What's your first name? What's your last name? What's your email? Then they'll be like, huh? Why are you asking me all this information? Like, I'm setting up an account for you, my friend. What is your first name? But why are you setting an account for me? Remember the last time we spoke? Oh, by the way, what's your mobile number? I said, oh, whoa, hang on. I said, do I have your attention?
I like that.
Oh, yes. How many minutes do you have there? 10 minutes. All right, shall we have a conversation? Well, if not, I'm setting an account for you. No, I mean, sometimes we can have fun. Sometimes, right? Because people, there's just too many things. And people might be like, oh, there's something novel. Let me play along. And then we might get back from, okay, I think let me think about it is not always a bad thing, especially when they are already steering off the conversation, but you can bring them back to let me think about it, and then you can bring them back to the initial conversation. I think that would be a very good follow-up, I think. And sometimes we just need a little like fun or tricks in the bag, right? I mean, Tim can do that. Hey, son, let me set up the account for you. You're buying a Mercedes, right? This is your credit score. What's your credit score? Where do you stay? You'll freak out. I tell you, you will get.
What's your annual income?
Yeah, what's your annual income?
Where's the bear?
Yeah.
So Aldric, so one of the things I kind of enjoy doing nowadays, so because I had a previous, sales career. So I always respect salespeople because I know how hard it is day in and day out, and it's part of their job. So there's no sense in being mean to people. They're trying to hit quota just like anyone else, right?
Yeah.
But one of the things I find very fun is I call it reverse prospecting. So what happens is these salespeople come to me. And then one of my new games that I love playing on LinkedIn, when I have time, only if I have time, my goal, I tell Jennifer, is I try to reverse it into where I'm sales pitching them. And my goal is to close them on a marketing, either LinkedIn coaching or LinkedIn strategy or something, and go, hey, the way you started selling me, hey, I can help you 10x it. And then we start having conversation, right?
Brilliant.
And then the next thing, I'm signing up a new client and I'm helping them, right? It's like, don't try to sell to me. I can help you sell to hundreds of me, right?
I do that too. I do reverse selling to two of mortgage bankers that reach out to me. So within that call that they are trying to sell me, I reverse pitch them, and then they became my.
That's great.
Well done.
And to me,
Well
it's kind
done.
of fun because you start having a conversation and they're very interested in you because they're pitching you, right? So you have their attention. And then slowly they're prospecting, asking me questions. And then it's like, great, hey, so tell me about your sales cycle. And they're open because they're in their mind at first, they're still thinking, oh, I'm selling to Kevin. But then I'm actually reversing it. And I'm qualifying them into my funnel. And then at the end, I go, hey, you know what? I don't really need your tool. But hey, I know some people that might need your tool for them to like sell more stuff.
That's
I
great.
get it,
I might
I get
have to
it.
feel that. That's great.
So
I get
Nico,
it.
you can totally pull that off. So,
Oh, that sounds so much fun. I might have to play this game.
Just assume the close. What's
Yep.
the first name?
So
You
tell me
get
about
it.
your business.
yeah.
yeah. How can I sell to you? Do you need my services? Before when you take the sales call, I say, oh, sorry, you're gonna sell me something. Why don't you tell me your business first? What do you need from me first?
Yep.
You reverse
And
straight
they
away.
usually tell you because they're pretty transparent because they're prospecting you. So
That's right. That's right.
you know,
No loss.
so it's a fun thing to do.
What-
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question again? When do I stop? When do I stop following up? Right?
Yep.
And
When do
does
you
it?
stop following up? And
Yeah.
also, if someone's following up with you, when does it get annoying?
Okay. So for me, because I'm not selling anything, right? So people say to me, when do I get annoyed? It's when, obviously when I say no and you still follow up with me, and then I will have to play the trick of saying, really, I would love to do this, but I don't have the budget currently, which is usually the case. But then again, it's the perfect reason. I don't have the money. What do you want me to do, right? So the good ones will say that, oh, so when does your financial year start? So they figure out when you have the money for the rest of the year, and then they will approach you then. Of course, that will depend on whether they follow up thereafter, right? And then, if it really comes to that, then I'll say that I don't see any alignment. I don't think this is going to work out for me, blah, 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 because this exhibition is too new and there's different target audience. So there'll be many reasons I can use. But the key really is if the person, that annoys me too much by keep on following up, even though I say that, no, I'm not interested. That's the point when I tell them, no budget, sorry, and or flat no, if it annoys me too much. And sometimes because of my age, right, it depends on mood as well. If you catch me at the wrong time, I'll just say, sorry, no, I'm not interested. I'll probably just hang up. So a lot have to do with the alignment, right? Whether the pitch is fits the need of my organization or where I'm sitting from. So that's the part. When do I stop following up? I don't stop following up if it's that hot girl at a party. I just keep going on until I get a flat no. But that was a long time ago. I don't know if that will change. Yeah.
Be careful, your wife's hand might.
Nah. So that's the thing. When I was much younger, that approach doesn't work. If you got a target zoning on this girl, you think that person is the one for you, love at first sight, whatever, and you keep going at it, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. That was not the approach for my wife. If you want to know, it was more of a friendship. But that's besides the point.
That's our next episode 18. Jeremey.
No, don't focus on me. Don't focus on me. So for work-wise, I will stop with if I have asked you for the question I want to follow up with. I will stop if it doesn't really concern me, or simply put, if my job doesn't depend on it, I will follow up with you and it doesn't come back to me. Forget it. I got more important things to do, right? Time is of the essence. So that's basically it. You will be worried if I keep following up, because that's one of two scenarios. Number one will be either if my job depends on it, it's a project I'm heading, and it's going sideways, we're not meeting the deadlines, I will follow up with you to death. Every 5 minutes, I'll ask a question, whatever, emails, call, whatever. The other scenario will be if you or whatever you're doing, it has pissed me off so much that I have a personal, I won't say personal agenda, or really, I want to get at you for something. For example, should I make this example? Okay, I'll make this example. So I pick fights, maybe a bit too much with people in HR, with procurement, especially procurement. Okay, let's stick with procurement, because I like to say that in marketing, what you do primarily is spend money, right? Spend money, and if you're in a big organization, procurement is the one that stops your show 100% of the time. Lengthy processes, tons of forms to fill in, and at the end of it, you take such a long time to be able to spend the money, or especially where I'm from in my organization. So if you as a procurement doesn't allow me to spend money because I need to meet these commercial objectives to support sales, to bring in leads and all that, then I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna follow up with you till you say yes. So that's basically an example. If it pisses me so off, I will keep on following up till I get a yes, because in a way my job depends on it. But if it doesn't depend on it and you are so inefficient, or you do not value add to the process, you do not value add to me, you're not helping me, you're stonewalling me, you're blocking me, you're slowing me down, I will do something about it. I will follow up. So that's me.
Jeremy.
Man, aggressive. That's the most aggressive I've seen Jeremy.
No, it's
Energy
a family,
came out.
It's a family model.
He's been hiding it behind
It's a
Zoom.
family model. He
17
sees
episodes. He finally.
The true Jeremy comes out.
he sees the marketing department that he's in as the child that's spending the money, and the finance probably like his father that's giving the money, and then procurement is like nagging him. No, you cannot spend this. Like, no, you can't.
Why? Tell me why.
No, you
Yeah,
can't
tell
do
me
that.
why. Yeah, really, it's
Jeremy's like, oh, I'm spending this money. I'm spending this money.
No, you're not.
no. That's the thing, right? Most of the time, my boss will be like, okay, yeah, go ahead and spend it, and then it goes down to this whole bureaucracy and red tape, and I don't get to spend the money on the time that I want, on the clock that I want, and it hurts the sale. And it's not like I'm not supporting. I've got all the support, but who are you as somebody who's supposed to provide a service to me to facilitate me spending, to stop me, right? And especially if you're not value adding to me, because to me, say for example, procurement, right? I've said this many times to my colleagues. Said, what's the value for procurement? I'm supposed to have probably only 3 contacts with you, right? Number 1, procurement department, I need to buy this corporate gift of 100 pen, right? And then procurement should come to me and say, hey, who are these are the vendors, 1, 2, 3, their prices XYZ, right? And I'll say, okay, I'll pick vendor B. And then the next point of contact really will be, vendor B is coming back with this pen, delivery by this date. End of story, right? It's done. But the process that I'm facing usually is, I want to buy this pen, right? Oh, are this vendor in our database? Oh, they're not in our database? Oh, we have these preferred vendors that have been pre-qualified. No, that's not the vendor I want, because these pens are unique. You can't find them anywhere except for vendor B, right? Oh, the price is too high. Yeah, the price is higher than normal because it's unique, right? And then they throw it back to me and say, oh, they want the payment terms of 60 days. Oh, we only accept 90 days. And then, you just get every point of the way you get blocked. And I just want corporate pens for this event that's coming out next month at the exhibition, so that I have something to give to my visitors. Why aren't you helping me to meet that deadline? Right? So this is when I really get pissed off. You will really see me come after you. Okay, I probably shouldn't say this, but I will probably drop everything and get to you till I get what I want. That's the way it is.
Jeremy,
Yeah.
Sell me this pen. That's what.
That's good. That's good.
That's overdone. Like the Wolf of Wall Street thing. That's overdone, right?
So yeah, that's me. You may not want me to keep on following up with you. Yeah. So yeah.
Give me what I want, or I'm gonna follow up with you.
Help me to help you, right? Help me to help you. If you're not helping me, then I'm gonna come after you.
So when it comes to follow up for me, right? So I think when I was in the corporate world, and I was more of in a sales type executive role, I think when it comes to following up, I would be more aggressive, in regards to like keeping people in my pipeline, because it was part of more my job and, just overseeing, sales and different stuff. Nowadays, here at, J29, regards to my follow-up, I am pretty on top of it type person. So I'll follow up, but I agree 100% with Aldric. I'll never chase you. I hate chasing, and I don't feel it's even worth it. Right? To me, I value my time, my hourly, and I feel as soon as I'm chasing, I'm actually losing money. So I'm easy. If you tell me you aren't interested, and we get through my chain of the why, or trying to figure out why it's a no, then I'm done. Hey, great. Hey, it's a mutual agreement, and I might follow up with them a year later to see how they're doing or 6 months later. But I don't believe in frequent chasing, because I feel I provide a lot of value in the service I give. And there's so much fish in the water, right? And in sales, any kind of relationship or selling or anything, right? Think about it this way, okay? If a girl says no to you, the dumbest thing is for these guys, they'll go, I'm going to go kill myself, or, in East Asian movies, right? The Chinese dramas, right? Dude, value your life. Don't go kill yourself over a girl, okay? Don't, but there's a lot of other opportunities out there, right?
Calls are coming out. So
sorry. But the truth is, it's the same in sales, right? There's a lot of opportunities out there. And if you value what you do and your service actually helps them, you should be confident of that. And if they don't see a fit, then there's someone else that sees it as a fit, And I think if you hit enough people, you're going to find people that are in your tribe that need your product or your service, And there's a guy and girl for everyone, right? Or a pet,
Agree.
No, but when does it become annoying to me, right? I think it becomes annoying once I agree with all of you when I already expressed that I'm not interested and I said no. After I'm very patient, so probably after this second or third time, I don't get annoyed easily. So I'm kind of a hard guy to push my buttons, so I'm pretty easygoing. So
okay,
I'll
guys,
just
that's our challenge.
I'll be the guy I'll ghost you, and you won't hear from me.
I think when it comes to so-called an objection, which is I'm not interested. I don't know if Tim shares this with me, but I think we are quite into the sales cycle in the kind of things that we do, right? It depends on when that objection comes. And sometimes it can be very interesting, right? You qualify, you go on calls, you go on a video conference, and then they meet you, you're talking about the offer, and then just before the closing, they say, I'm not interested. Okay, something is amiss. I don't believe that they are genuinely not interested. If not, why would they have invested 2 calls, 1 video conference, and meeting up with you to begin with? It can't be.
Because they're nice. Because they're nice like me, maybe.
Can't be. If they're nice, right? They wouldn't have allowed you to lead them on for the next one and the next one and the next one. So they might stay on for the first one, and after that they'll just ghost you, like what Kevin mentioned, right? So at the point when they say that I'm not interested, okay, that's very interesting, right? And I don't believe that's the case. I seriously don't believe that you're not interested. There must be something that you're not interested in. You're interested in this offer, but there's something that you're not interested in. You better start getting people to talk. So sometimes, yes, we get annoyed and things like that, but depending on the stages at where the objections appear, it can be very funny. It can be very interesting, and it could turn out to be something a lot better. That's what I think. Never give up, man. Never give up. Especially when face-to-face, nose-to-nose, and mouth-to-mouth, follow up. And that's the point to follow up.
Well,
We're going mouth-to-mouth now, guys.
Yeah, face-to-face, I mean, and Kevin can relate to this, especially in the car business. you feel like you have one shot, so you got to close them. Then that's
Yep.
it. So like, you know, that's part of it. So the no or not, I'm not interested. I agree. It's kind of like, well, we got to get to the bottom of this thing. The other one that I always get interested in is when you get somebody in the very beginning and they're like, I'm not interested, and you just met them. And you're like, you don't even know what I offer. You know, let's slow down a little bit. Like, at least give me a chance to make an elevator speech. Like, geez, you know? So that's another one where I agree with you, Aldric. Like, you go in, you meet, hey, I'm not interested. I didn't even tell you what I offer.
Then why are you here?
You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? I just got here. So, you know, I agree. The not interested, yeah, you got to get to the bottom of that. But the truth is, in that follow-up moment, you know, and when I did outside sales, you get a lot of that. Hey, I'm Tim from Credit Acceptance, right? And somebody, well, no, we're good. Okay, well, why are you good? Like, I just walked in and introduced myself. You know, like, what did you hear? Like, what's the problem? And then they'll tell you, and then you get past it. Then you open up the door for conversation. So that follow-up to just say, why are you not interested? What did I do? I just walked in your door. You know what I mean? Like, what's the problem? You know, I think that's an important part of follow-up too. So I agree with you, Aldric, 100%.
Yeah. And I think now one of the funniest thing would be I have no money or I have no budget, right? So when I speak to some of my American friends who's interested in some form of a commercial relationship, I'll be like, you have no money? Dude, your government just borrowed $7 trillion. You guys are rich. You don't tell me you have no money, right? You are worried about 1008. Your government just borrowed 7 trillion. Hey man, get a perspective. 7 trillion is out there. Go grab it. Put it on a card. You know, your Amex, your Visa, your Mastercard. They have the money.
That's great.
Oh, come on. Don't tell me you have no money. You guys just borrowed 7 trillion. I have the money. Come on. Perspective.
So before we end our show tonight, okay? So I want to just bring it out there for you guys. Due to viewership requests in our BUP group, right? Episode 18. Let's talk TikTok.
TikTok. Is that a question or is that a...
What about
that's
TikTok?
it. Like, are you?
What about TikTok? So that's gonna be episode 18, and you know,
We should get Tim on the show.
yeah. So
I mean, that TikTok Tim.
yeah, well, Tim's. Yep, I was planning on Tim. It was Tim's request too. So I think it'll be a good topic. As you know, hey, let's just get a little before next week, right? With all the media in the U.S. on TikTok, just really fast, just with the group now. What's your take?
I'm still posting 3 times a day there.
Yep, with the banning in China,
No,
banning the TikTok company. What are your thoughts?
no. So if it goes away, it goes away. I'm still milking it for what it is. I'm still getting leads and still selling books through TikTok. I'm
Yep.
still posting 3 times a day. If it goes away, it goes away.
Good.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, listen, Facebook had big security issues. You know, like everybody who is of notoriety comes across security issues, and I don't think they're kind of too big to fail at this point. So I don't think they're going away. So I wouldn't stop doing what I was doing on TikTok because of what it is. You know, I mean, I have 2-factor authentication on everything, so I'm gonna get notified if you're trying to hack my shit. So.
Okay. Aldric?
Aldric, go first.
Jeremy, go first.
I don't really know TikTok, right? I know what it is. I don't have an account. I know it's been banned in India because of the border conflict. But the thing is, I don't think it will go away. It's huge in China itself.
Yep.
And as we know, China doesn't need. Its domestic market is enough. So yeah, it's just going to be a bonus, icing on the cake if it is in US and in India. But honestly, it's not going to go away. It has enough support in its own home country. So it's still possibly still by far, one of the most popular platforms in China itself. So that's my take, and I think APAC itself is big enough. Yeah.
Good.
I I see it like Alibaba and Amazon in the context of the US, right? So you have Alibaba, you have Amazon, and things like that. If you ban Alibaba, you still have Amazon.
Yep.
So it doesn't really matter in terms of like the customer and the market, right? And even if Alibaba can't expand into the US, it's the fact that they have a very strong presence within China domestic market and as well as Southeast Asia. So I think in terms of the business economics, it's not really that much of an issue. Of course, the people that are producing the content producers, right? Those that are already producing the content will be there. You can ban it, but the content is already there, right? It's only for those who's trying to jump onto the bandwagon. And of course, you might miss this, but come on, it's one out of how many platforms are we talking about now? Is it 11? Is it 12? Oh, come on,
No idea.
Yeah, just try, choose another one, wait for the ban to be lifted, and then get back again. I think it's fine. As in, like, eventually things go away, right? That's the natural life cycle. Eventually, like Kevin, you talk about MySpace, isn't it?
Yep.
Just take it that way.
Yep.
I think it's okay.
You know. There's a mirror to this situation, right? Like Huawei phones are banned from having, with Google. But the phones are still selling. They're still selling. It's going to be the exact same case for TikTok. That's my take.
Yep. And my take, I'm pretty neutral on the whole thing. I just love hearing feedback from everyone in the community.
Yeah.
And my take is, if you're a content creator or just, entrepreneur period, or a person that's out here that's a true professional, build brand. Stop focusing on all these platforms. I know Nico, it's just like he said, he's going to keep doing it. And once that's down, he has 5 other channels that he's active on. It doesn't matter, right? When you build at the end of the day, it's all about relationships, from the very beginning of time, right? The person with the most relationship wins, and we're talking about ancient of days. Watch movies, guys. It hasn't changed. The guy with the most friends, the most, army, loyal people are the one guy that's going to win. So perspective is everything. And I think we have to look at everything from a global standpoint, right? Just like
on that point, right? Definitely, right? Don't always look outside at what things that other people or other things can offer you, but look at ourselves, our own brand as our own empire. And empires only crumble from within. So you just have to believe in what you do. Don't crumble from within. I mean, like platforms, there's so many and they are free. Just use them for your advantage. Just use them the way in which you can excel. I think that's good enough.
Yep.
That's good enough.
Well, it was a fun show tonight. Thank you, Nico, for being on our show.
Thank you for having me. It's super fun.
And everyone, be sure to check out his book. When is your book coming out?
So that one, We're All Marketers, has been out for a year, and then We're All Influencers is March 2021.
March 2021. So,
yeah, so if you're interested in influence, I have a little group of 21 people where I'm going to bounce ideas off of and everything. So if you're interested in how social media influence is cultivated, used to grow and then actually deployed, that's somewhat interesting. That's what I'm up to.
So what's the best way to connect with you, follow you, what are your handles?
Oh, yeah. So it's Nico DeBrain. So best place is LinkedIn. I have TikTok, same thing, Nico DeBrain. And then I will drop my email for anyone who wants to follow up with me there. See what I did there?
If you want to get some additional book exposure via the Bottoms Up group, we can always consider a book royalty deal here.
Oh, absolutely.
Why not, right?
That's totally there. No, but seriously, regardless, and I like to do these after any podcast or any live that I'm on. Yes, it's great to have me, but there's 5 of us, and then we all have more connections. We all have stories, and we all have lessons. So whether you're, thinking, wow, Nico is great, I'll follow him, but connect with everyone here. We, in the middle, we were like, we don't respond. We do like people, and that's why we're on this platform. So my closing remark is, all these people are super funny. I have not laughed and smiled that much in one of these in a while, so it's great. but connect with all of us. So that's kind of my little thing. So
Yep. Hey, thank you
Glad to have
guys.
you on the show, Nico.
thank
have
you
a
guys.
good work day, Jeremy, Aldric,
Thank
and then
you.
have a good night, Nico and Tim.
Bye
All
guys.
right, guys.
See you guys
Thanks,
next
guys.
See
week.
you later.
Bye.
Bye.